Okay, guys.
Coach, the defensive backs made a couple, got their hands on the ball today, and your thoughts on that? And Mike Adams says he makes it a goal to see his hands on the ball at least once a day.
Well, that was encouraging to see from a defensive standpoint. Guys made some plays. As the head coach, then you sit back and say, well, that's not good because that was our offense who just gave it to them, right? So, but yeah, it's as long as, I look at practice like this, as long as it's back and forth. I don't want one side to dominate the other because that's not going to be a good thing for any of us. But as long as it's back and forth, and that's what it was today. I thought it was a good back and forth.
Talk about Gerald McCoy and the way he's come into camp. He's lost some weight. Like I guess he says he came in 10 pounds lighter than what you wanted him to come in at. He spent the offseason really working out. Seems like he built up his body a lot. Are you starting to see him mature physically as well as mentally as a player?
Well, I think he's been, the time I've been with him, he's been physically mature. So, but he did change, his composition a little bit, and his weight, and I think it all lends to just the focus and how hard he's worked to get ready for this season. He and I have talked throughout the off season when he wasn't here and when he was here, and this guy's he's really focused.
You ramp it up a little bit for Revis today. Seemed like he was doing a little bit more, maybe in coverage.
Maybe a little bit more, but no, we're not trying to. We were going to kind of switch format a little bit. We were doing some different things with teach periods where you were just going half speed, and we wanted him to get all that. So it's against the offense and we're moving, but it's not full speed. Especially second day, right? Second day when guys who are coming back off things, they're amped up. First day they do a little more than they probably should. We really pulled the reins in on all those guys, and but they're all sore. I mean, you don't play stop, start, lean, all that stuff. Yeah. So now, but it'll come back quickly.
Talk about left tackle in general terms in football as a priority position, Greg, on that side of the ball, and how well Penn fills that role.
Well, it's certainly a priority position. You protect the blind side of your quarterback if you have a righty quarterback, so which we do. So Donald, I'm impressed with the effort that he has put into himself this offseason. He's gotten himself ready. I thought he made strides last year to get to where he was by the end of the season. I think he just took that and ran with it this offseason. And he's in the best shape since I've known him. And I like his attitude and his temperament out there right now. It's one of maturity, and that's what we need from him.
So you're a guy that loves football in your mind?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's no doubt.
Coach, we'll talk about Carl and Davin, what you see from their injuries, how they look like they're moving very smoothly, and what your plan for them as far as preseason games?
Right. Carl and Davin are obviously critical parts of our front offensively, and we just want to make sure that we don't go too fast. Because, again, at that position, you're hitting sleds and you're leaning on each other and you're torquing. It's different than just running and making cuts. Even if there's a guy next to you running, this is, darn near sumo wrestling in there, with those guys. So we just got to make sure that we take it step by step. Because when you skip a step there, you're talking about 700 pounds of men just wrestling around. That can get dangerous. But I am encouraged, and I think we just got to stick to the plan, and you want to see them. Let's get in there. But you set up the plan when you don't have that, when you're not out there and you want to see them, you got to stick to it. So that's what we'll do.
A year ago, you went pretty quickly from 2 Pro Bowl guards, which was the best laid plans, to 0.
Yeah.
Just put in perspective what they bring to you in terms of, tactically and also just to the huddle. Davin's been a leader on this team for a while.
You're right. I mean, they bring a lot. And I thought the guys who stepped in did a great job. We gained valuable experience, but you don't replace those 2 guys. So if we can get them back healthy, which they're right on path to do that, they bring not only really good play, but like you said, they're both guys that have played in this league and have been successful. And that always helps when you have those guys in your huddle.
How important is it to keep someone like Daquan, not only from defense, but the team as a whole, keep him healthy throughout the whole season?
Well, it's important with all our guys, 53-man roster, and then 46 play on game day. You don't have a lot of spares, so we got to keep everybody healthy. I think with Daquan, because of some of his history, you think about it a little more probably, right? But he's working hard and he's playing his way into every down condition, both mentally and physically, and that's what he needs to do.
Could you share with us maybe what your message to him was, either going into the offseason or during the offseason, if anything, when you talk to these guys?
Yeah, I mean, I've said, what I've said. He's got to go out and do it to be an every down player. You can talk about it, you can come visit with me and we can talk about it. But situational pass rusher is not a bad deal. You go out there, 95% of the time they throw the ball, so you don't have to play the run. You don't have to do the dirty work, right? So when you get where you're a first and second down player as well as a pass rusher, a third down player, then your world really gets harder. And to me, the mental toughness it takes to go down after down after down is something that isn't, that's why a lot of guys can't, and the guys who do it in college can't just come to this league and do it, because the competition is so strong, and it's such a violent world there in the front seven play that you need to work your way into it. And I think he is. I mean, that's the key. We talked about it very openly. That's what you got to do. There's no easy way to do it.
Yeah.
And he's embraced it so far, which is good.
Sean talked about leading from the back to the front. He said he pulled the guys aside in the secondary today and spoke with him about that. What are your thoughts on it?
Leading from the back to the...
Yeah, leading the defense from the back to the front.
Well, I'm glad that Deshaun, he brings leadership to our defense. There's no doubt. But I think we have leadership in the front as well. And I think what happens is position pride. When these guys have pride in their position group, and now you have 3 position groups on defense that all have a strong feeling about their unit, that's great. And in a way, that's a competition of its own. Where the defensive front, they think they're the deal, and the secondary thinks they're the deal, and the linebackers think that's good. You want it to be that way. You don't want to be the little guy who's holding everything back. And I don't think we have that on this football team. I think we have units that are going to compete to be the leadership unit. So I think it's good.
How excited are you to get these guys in pads?
Yeah, that's the way we play the game. So it's been a long time since we've been in pads. Again, stick to the plan. Do the things you have scripted out. Coach Wooden always used to say, you set a plan, stick to the plan. When you get in trouble is when you start, freelancing out there on the practice field because of emotion. You get angry, what have you. Just, it's got to get done. Go out, set the plan, and then execute it.
What's the expectation for the night practice? What are the expectations?
Well, number one, I want our fans to have a great experience. I mean, this is huge for us, huge for the fans to get in the stadium. We can get better and still have some fun doing some different things. So we're going to do some fun things for the fans. We're also going to practice. We're going to do a 2-minute drill. We're going to run our offense and defense up the field, do some kicking game stuff. But there'll be some competitions, and we'll be a little bit fun, some fun things. So I think people, here's my ring. I'm going to put on my salesman's hat. Fans should come out and see it. It'll be a lot of fun. Tell Bowers that, right? He's looking for some fun right now.
Greg, when you went to last year, what was kind of your evaluation of Mason Foster's season? And then this past offseason, what did you want him to focus on in terms of getting better?
Well, I thought Mason grew in this defense, and I thought as he learned it and understood it better, he got better and better. I thought he was a playmaker. I thought he did some good things. I think this offseason he's made huge strides. I think he understands it umpteen times better. I think he reacts more quickly because of that. And I think he's a guy that, I know he's a guy that loves it and wants to be the best. So, I think we have a nice group there of passionate guys about playing football at the linebacker crew. So they feed off each other.
That's got to be an instinctive position, right? I mean, you've got to, there's a lot of mental involved as well, but you've got to be able to play fast. So, is that kind of what you're talking about?
Well, he's got great instincts.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one thing Mason has.
That's what I'm saying,
Right. But, if you just went out there and played on instincts, you'd make a lot of mistakes because our defense, and I don't know any defense it isn't, is team-based. I mean, one guy relies a ton on the guy next to him. It's gap control. Mm-hmm. So if you have a guy who's just playing on instincts, yeah, he may get to the ball, but he also give up a home run. So learning the scheme and then you don't want to take those instincts out of a guy, right? So within the scheme, we want to use those instincts. And I think Mason is getting better and better, and we need him to, but he is.
What's been your impression of Dave Carini so far? I know Bob knew him from Wisconsin, but have you seen what you've heard?
Yeah, I think he's looked pretty good. I mean, it's 2 days,
Yeah.
and then I think we had him, 2 days in the spring? So I've coached him 4 days. I'm probably not an expert yet, but he works hard, he's serious about it, he's smart. So those are good things to have a head start on. And now we got no whispering era. Okay. I think we're going to be We're gonna be all right. All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Greg.